Several roads have been closed to traffic in the Pinetown area in the west of Durban. This is due to flooding following last night's heavy rains. This morning, the body of a woman who went missing after her car was washed away in a river in Pinetown was recovered. The South African Weather Service issued a level 6 warning for disruptive rain over KwaZulu-Natal from midnight on Thursday. Areas in the upper highway of the city, such as Kloof and Hillcrest, are among those that have been severely affected. Businesses were not spared as the water from the rains made its way into Village Mall on Kloof Road in Durban. Residents living in low-lying areas have been advised to take special care during storms as sudden floods might affect them. The eThekwini municipality says it is attending to a series of power outages due to the disruptive rains. Mop-up operations across KwaZulu-Natal are currently underway, with eThekwini Metro severely affected by the inclement weather conditions. The alert orange level 6 warning was issued for most areas along the west, or rather the coast of the city. Tragically, one person, a woman believed to be in her 50s, died after her vehicle was swept off a bridge in Pinetown, west of Durban. We now cross to our reporter Nonjabulo Magwaza and the video journalist Spusiso Tembe, who are currently in that part of the city. Nonjabulo, thank you for your time. How much more do we know? Any new information do we know about the woman the body of the woman who was found today, and how are mop-up operations progressing in that area?
Well, yes, greetings to you, Diabo. We are reporting to you once again from the Pinetown area here on the west of Durban. This is said to be one of the hardest hit areas here under the eThekwini Metro. And of course, this morning we did see the rescue missions this morning trying, to retrieve the body of that 54-year-old woman who was swept away yesterday afternoon. You remember that last night operations were very much in full swing, but they had to be halted due to the heavy rains that were making it difficult for them to continue with the search. And of course, around about this morning, around about 2 to 3 a.m., they resumed with the search and rescue missions. And of course, just about 6 a.m., they were able to locate her remains as well as the vehicle. But one of the biggest concerns now, Diabo, is that the river that we are actually currently standing behind, this is the Umbilo River. Now, this is where her remains were actually recovered this morning. When we came in, the rain, it had actually subsided, and even the levels of this river as well, Diabo, it had actually subsided, though it was a little bit low. But now, with the rains continuing, one of the biggest concerns, especially from the emergency services, is that the levels of this river seems to be increasing once again. And another concern is that, this river lies next to residential areas as well as low-lying bridges that are usually utilized by a number of residents here in Pinetown, in Sanya. And that is basically the biggest concern. But over and above that, as you have said, mop-up operations are currently underway. And of course, rescue teams are out in various areas as well as disaster management teams. But of course, let me just bring in another person, Mr. Andreas Matthews, who is actually with the Marshall Security. I know that they've been all up in the morning from yesterday trying to assist where they can. And of course, this morning, they are actually trying, to assist where they can as well. Thank you so much, Andreas, for joining us. Andreas, let's just take us through. I know that you were also part of the rescue mission last night. Know that there were other vehicles that were also stuck that you did assist. Just take us through in terms of how bad is the situation here in, this side of the city of eThekwini.
So the rainfall that fell last night was rather intense. We received multiple calls in and around from Kloof, Pinetown, and of course in this area. Multiple first responders arrived on scene. We had people from Belita, IPSS Search and Rescue. We had Metro Police Search and Rescue. We had the teams from the various organizations from ER24 to Netcare, ALS paramedics. Everybody had come out and were on the ground searching. A woman had been washed away in a vehicle. That was the first priority that we were dealing with. The other one was the incident that happened in Kloof, where the man was still trapped in his vehicle on Edwin Swales, where the Kloof patrollers, this is now the Neighbourhood Watch Network, had come together with Start Rescue, which is also a volunteer organisation. So everybody was mobilised. There was a massive mobilisation. But we were also prepared in terms of the volunteer network that is out in the communities to assist with these kind of threats and emergencies.
I know that, the biggest concern right now, Andreas, it is the fact that this river, the Umbilo River, the levels seems to be increasing once again. What advice would you give, especially, to people who are staying in this area of Pinetown? I know there's a lot of low-lying bridges in this area.
Look, it's very important. We've said this so many times, and, we've put out many campaigns. eThekwini municipality have put out a lot of social media posts. Do not cross low-level bridges under any circumstances. This incident that happened here in Sonia could have been prevented if the residents like that just heed the warnings of what we're putting out there and say, please, don't take chances. Don't cross low-level bridges. It is so important because you can get swept away in a minute, and now, we're sitting with a situation where a family's lost a family member.
Currently, are there any operations that you guys are attending to?
Well, Marshall Security's teams are out and about. We've got a community support team that's working tirelessly in the background. We also networked with all emergency services, and we get the information into our control room, and then we dispatch and notify the various volunteers and role players where to go, how to respond, and just be part of the network.
Well, thank you so much, Andreas. That is Andreas Matthews, who is with Marshall Security. And of course, residents in KwaZulu-Natal have been asked to remain alert and be cautious, as the alert orange level 6 is still very much, impactful, still very much active in various parts of KwaZulu-Natal, as well as the alert level 4 for the severe thunderstorms. It's back to you in studio, Diabo.
Thank you, Nonjabulo, for that update. We'll keep in touch with you, hopefully in the next hour, to find out the update.